Hello, what's up, and welcome to my channel. My name is Emrose and I do a lot of stuff. Here on this channel, I make videos about writing, art, and creative life, so if that sounds up your alley, subscribe down below. But today, here's what I'm doing. I'm painting this gouache illustration using every single color in my jelly gouache palette. Let's get started. This illustration celebrates my love of books. I'm only showing the painting process because, quite frankly, it took me forever to draw and plan. That's the thing about me in this channel. I'm always doing things that are really new to me and experimenting, so sometimes you see me flounder, but that is half the fun of creating. First off, I'm lightening the sketch with an eraser here, and here's what's going to happen. I'm going to use every color in my jelly gouache palette. There are 56 in all. So many colors and so very many of them green, which is a good thing because that will be one of the main colors in this piece. Although, have you noticed it's kind of hard to get greens to play nice together? Well, anyway, I started out with the palette you see on the side. Those are going to be some of my primary colors. I think they give a very ethereal fairy vibe to the piece. Okay, I've always wanted to do storytime videos, and I have a really great story from recently. So let's chat while I paint, and I'll come back at the end to tell you a little bit more about the illustration when it's finished. So a couple weeks ago, me and my fiance went on one of our evening walks that we like to take after she gets back from school. We live in a small city area. It's kind of a weird blend of apartments and these old southern homes with big porches and some remnants of forest here and there. We're walking a short loop, just a few blocks that we do all the time, so we're super familiar with it. And when we're about a block away from home, we're on this weird stretch of road. Picture a busy four-lane thoroughfare on one side with all these commuters and everything, and then a strip of really dense trees and scrub right next to the sidewalk. All of a sudden we hear this really loud rummaging in the bushes next to us. I look down and see like a flash of grayish, brownish skin. Both of us immediately think rat. Like, it wouldn't be unheard of around here. I have seen some out and about. But I usually expect rats to run away, and this little creature just keeps rummaging really loudly, but out of our sight. So me and Lily both squat down and try to get a better look. It becomes clear that whatever this thing is, it's hairless, and it is definitely not a rat. This is where I got really squeamish. I was like, this thing has lost all its hair. It must be sickly. I don't know if we should be near that. But Lily is a big adventurer. She has no fear of things like this. So as she's squatting down there, she just picks up a random leaf and starts ushering this creature towards us, like making those little pss, pss, pss noises. And he boldly stomps right out. It's obvious now that whatever this is, it is used to people, and I guess it was obvious that he was a guinea pig. I mean, but he was really ugly. He has this like wrinkly brown skin from his neck all the way down his body, and right on his face he has just a bit of like orange spiky fur that's really patchy. He's really little, quite clearly very hungry because he's just like eating random branches and leaves and stuff. So I'm like, I'll go home, I'll get a box, we're really close by, so I'll be right back, don't worry. But Lily just like picks him up, just like that. And I'm like, don't get bit, oh my god, don't get bit. I'm picturing us at like urgent care getting rabies shots, to be honest. This little dude looks nothing but relieved, honestly. I did go upstairs to get a box before we brought him into our apartment so that we could hide him from our cats. And when I came back down, Lily was just sitting on a bench right outside her door, and the guinea pig was asleep in her lap, just zonked out, completely happy, like, oh please, the humans have rescued me. So we brought him upstairs and snuck him into our bathroom, which we could close off, and our cats were none the wiser. We got him some lettuce, some romaine to eat, and he completely annihilated it. It was gone within like a minute, so he was super hungry. Guinea pigs are they're very cute, and they make these cute little noises, like little huffing, kind of grunting noises. It's hard to explain, but every time he grabbed the food from us, he would go like. So, anyway, we're kind of falling in love with him as we give him this food and water. He is ugly, but he is also freaking adorable, and Lily loves little rodents, little creatures, but we're both repeating we can't keep him. We have 2 cats, these 12-pound predators prowling around our 1-room loft apartment. So it wasn't since it's a loft, it's just a open concept space. We don't have a separate room where we could keep a little creature. So I'm online. I started looking for missing guinea pig postings, which felt mildly ridiculous. I'm not sure how anyone would lose a guinea pig. I don't know if these tiny little guys are capable of running away fast enough to be lost in that way. Well, I didn't find any posts like that, and it's starting to feel more and more like he got dumped, which makes me really sad that people do that. I mean, I knew that was a thing, that was a sad reality. And apparently it's pretty common with guinea pigs in particular, just because they have higher needs than people tend to expect. So after that, I start looking into options in our area that are along the lines of small animal rescues, which are not common, if you're wondering. Even though we live in a city area where there are a lot of rescues, I was having a hard time finding something at first. But actually, after some searching, we find out that there is a literal specialty guinea pig rescue, blocks away from us. Really, really close. Basically 1 neighborhood over in our city. But their website says they're overflowing. They have too many guinea pigs to rehome, so they can't take too many. They're a little bit hard to contact, but just in case, I reach out on Instagram and I send them a little picture of this hairless guy. I'm not sure he's doing too well. He doesn't have any hair. And they respond as we're at the pet store, picking up some quick supplies just in case we need to house this little guy for a while until we find him a home. And the rescue says they prioritize abandoned ones so they can actually pick him up, which is great. They also let me know that he's supposed to be hairless, which is completely hilarious to me. That is just what he's supposed to look like. He's not malnourished. He didn't lose all his hair. He's just a naked little guy. And so we get connected with the man who runs the rescue. He's essentially our neighbor. He lives unbelievably close to us. And that night, he pulls up to a parking lot near us, and we drop the little guinea pig off in a box. It was so fortunate. This guy who runs the rescue is clearly a total angel, obsessed with guinea pigs, and we let him know that we'd called this little guy Rufus, since he's naked, like the naked mole rat in Kim Possible. And he let us know that naked guinea pigs are actually called skinny pigs, and they are really valuable sometimes. They cost a lot of money, and people breed them and everything. So it was a good thing I didn't go about posting, pictures of it and being like, does anyone want this? Because unfortunately people do some sketchy stuff when they can sell small animals for like over $200 and breed them and things like that. It's a sad reality and something to definitely keep in mind with lost animals. So the rescue is going to find a safe home for Rufus, where he'll have, a very happy life and a devoted owner and all of that. He was doing great when we dropped him off, a total love bug, just like a hungry little guy ready for that sweet life upgrade from living outside and eating sticks. But this story actually has another chapter. A couple days later, someone in one of my local Facebook groups posted that they'd found a guinea pig and they were looking for some supplies just for the day. And I was like, what a coincidence, another one. Somebody's dumping guinea pigs, which is so sad. So I reached out to them and I told them about the local rescue. The good news was they were already in touch and they were going to do a drop-off for this guinea pig that evening. And that evening comes around and I coordinate with the man who runs the rescue so he can stop by to return this box that we'd given Rufus over. And he was just returning it to me, and when we met up, he had another little carrier with him, and he was like, I just got the other little guinea pig from around the corner, and he shows this one to me too. It turns out that Rufus and this new guinea pig were buddies. This one was really big compared to Rufus, like twice the size, honestly, and it had fur, which surprised me. I don't know if they can be litter mates if one has fur and one doesn't, but apparently they had been spotted together by some of my neighbors for days, and they had no luck grabbing them. But somebody finally did manage to get this one after we had rescued Rufus. And they named the big hairy one Ron, which is cute, Ron and Rufus. And they were reunited at the rescue center, which I just absolutely love. What a sweet, happy ending for these two. Well, that's my little animal rescue tale. I hope you absolutely fell in love with Rufus like we did. It was honestly heart-wrenching to see him go, although he is in great hands, I know that, so I am very happy with how this story ended. Anyway, let's talk about this painting now that it has begun to come together a little bit more. You may have noticed that it is playing with proportions here. It's meant to be a little fairy library, so that's why there are some oversized elements like those dandelions in the perfume bottle and the big purple chess piece on top of the shelf. Those are meant to be, normal sized, but then in a tiny little room meant for a fairy. And I kind of picture her sitting down and binding all of her own micro-sized books and relaxing in her pink upholstered armchair here. So I made this pretty big compared to how I usually paint, and that's because it's going into an 8x10 frame that I totally fell in love with. Basically, I was really challenging myself with various elements of this, including all of the colors, which in the end I'm pretty happy with. It's a little chaotic, but I think that fits sort of the collaged together aspects of this little fairy's decor. And like I said, I was working a lot bigger than I usually do, and I also never paint big architectural elements like this bookcase. I actually used a program called SketchUp, which is a free online 3D modeler. A lot of people use it for making webcomic backgrounds. It's a great resource, and I highly recommend checking it out if you're interested in making references for illustrations. It wouldn't be one of my videos if my cats didn't have something to say in it. You probably heard them. But here I'm finishing up this piece in watercolor pencil, which is what I always do on top of elaborate gouache pieces. I'm really just emphasizing the contrast, fiddling around with some of the colors to make it a little more cohesive. Then I set out to frame this painting. I picked this up from the thrift store, and this might be controversial, but I painted it green. Trust me, the original gold was kind of flaky, so it needed an upgrade. And I really love how this green coordinates with the hues in the painting. I even put a little bit of glitter on it just for some added magic. And here's the final painting. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I set out to use all those colors, and I did. I'm not quite sure it's as light and airy as I expected, but I think it is a super fun piece. Can't wait to hang this up on my wall, and I'm actually working on making some prints of this. If you're interested in prints, definitely let me know, because I'm opening a print shop soon, actually. Thanks so much for joining me for this new style of video. If you'd like to stick around, I post about writing, art, and creative life, so like, comment, and subscribe down below. And until next time, this is Emrose. Thanks so much. Bye!